Hi, we are NoonaTalk. I'm Zara.
I'm Sophia.
And today we are back with a brand new K-drama or K-flop. I mean, I'm sure the title gives it away, but I'll let you know. It's Love Next Door. Woo! Let's get into all of the details, but before, we are Nuna Talk. We are K influencers under the South Korean government. We also do a lot of K-pop, K-drama, K-culture. We're here on YouTube, so you can look at us. And today, if you are looking at us, we are matching. It is a coincidence. We did not plan this. It's just that we share the same brain cell. If you're not looking at us, we're on Spotify, we're on Google Podcast, because I believe this is the last month Google Podcast is existing. So go
What?
listen to it. Yeah, Google Podcast is coming to an end.
Google is also continuing Chromecast, so maybe they're just like shutting things down.
I don't know about Chromecast, but essentially Google Podcast is being absorbed into YouTube itself. So
Oh.
YouTube has podcast options, which also you can listen to. So if you're on YouTube Music, you can access our podcast as well. Everybody I knew was talking about it, was looking forward to it. What is it about?
Well, let's look at the Wikipedia synopsis, which is a single line about Love Next
Love it.
Door is a story about a woman who wants to change her life that she doesn't like and her mother's friend's son who knows too well about her shameful childhood. Okay,
Shameful childhood.
questionable.
Okay, let's go watch it and then we can get into it. Yeah.
따라다녀? 왜 계속 얼쩡거려? 나 좀 그만 내버려둬. 내 인생에 끼어들지 좀 말라고 이제.
Okay, I have lots of thoughts. The shameful childhood, where was it? It was not featured. Okay, if you are
Maybe
new,
it comes out in the future.
we're going to talk about the first episode of popular K dramas and decide whether it's worth watching a K drama or not. Kflop, and spoilers will be revealed. So keep in mind. Okay,
But
spoilers from
only
now.
till like the first episode because we haven't seen anything beyond that.
That's true. That is true. So first episode spoilers are coming up ahead. Be warned. Okay, so we meet our two central leads in the most interesting fashion ever. We're introduced to them by their mothers bickering about
I
their
love that. Like that is the most Sharma Ji ka beta vibe ever. Like, oh my god, relatable as fuck.
in that was so incredibly Asian of our culture and society. I don't know if like Westerners face the same thing. We definitely have.
Mm-hmm.
So two mothers bickering about their son and their daughter. They seem like they themselves, those two mothers, are old friends. So they've had a long history of doing this, behaving in such a manner. And then we are told that the daughter is getting married. So she's won up, she's won the competition because marriage is the eventual goal, guys.
Yeah.
Remember.
No matter
K
how
drama.
many watches you can buy your mother.
Ha, yeah. Oh, yeah. Or you could be the head architect of Atelier Inn. It's a
Why is that
bizarre
such a
name.
popular term in
So Atelier in French means workshop.
yeah, in French, but why is that such a popular thing in K dramas and
Not just K dramas, but like
K-pop?
everywhere. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what influence happened, but like it's so
Mhm.
popular. Then we meet our actual two main leads, which is Choi Sang Hyo and Bae Seok Roo. My God. Bae Seok Roo essentially was settled in America. She was getting married. She has now surprised everyone by coming back to Korea. She's
Mhm.
re-meeting all of her childhood best friends. She's hiding from her brother, and there's a lot of like overlap. And again, this also felt very Asian, where family friends is such a common thing.
Yeah,
Like
but I
you
think
are,
that's common kind of everywhere, no?
is it? I don't know if you are forced to be friends with your parents' friends'
Mhm.
children elsewhere as much as it is strongly here. Like they
Yeah.
essentially become like cousins. But yeah, so they are all childhood friends and they're all reconnecting.
Childhood friends to
Um,
lovers is the ultimate, guys.
oh my God. We will
It's
get into the.
someone who knew you at your worst.
No, that's enemies to lovers.
But like, they know the origin story.
The origin story. They are aware of your origin story. That is true.
Hmm.
Which is, in this case, her shameful childhood. But yeah, so reuniting with all the childhood friends and establishing their storylines as well. Like we meet her friend who's called Moyam, who is now an established paramedic. She's really good at taekwondo, and I believe hers will be the secondary plot line through the series. She eventually reveals, what's her name? My God, Syokru eventually reveals that she has quit her job. She has ended her engagement, and she's come back to Korea, which is not well received by her parents. Yeah, okay, I think that's kind of it. Is there anything else that was there in the? I mean, the only other thing I can think is Seong Hyo wants to make a memorial park, and I feel like there's something as to why he does. But let's get into the pros and cons really quickly. Do you want to start with pros?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the cast was Jung Hae-in and Jung So-min, and I love Jung Hae-in. Like, I don't know if anyone's watched DP, which is niche, but everyone's probably watched Prison Playbook or Snowdrop. Like,
Snowdrop is how I know him. Yeah,
yeah. I've even seen Something in the Rain, which is nice and cute. But basically, yeah, I think he's got this nice, like, chocolate boy next door kind of a vibe, which I think, like, really works for this show. And so does the lead actress. I think the casting is really strong, and it's a good way to get people, like, kind of excited for the show, because I'm also a big fan of Alchemy of Souls, guys. In case you don't
Mm.
know, please watch our review, because that doesn't tell you anything. But
I
yeah.
really like the casting as well. I've seen Jung So Min in a very very different role. I watched her in for This Is My First Life, where
Mm,
this and this is like a polar opposite. So it's really nice to see that there are more avenues that they can play in different types of roles.
yeah.
So I did really like that. I thought, like, well, we started out saying this. It was incredibly relatable. Like
Yeah, yeah. I think the
the
whole Asian mom, like, the dynamics were so well created. And I
explained,
think,
yeah.
yeah, and just it's so creative. Like, the introduction through people talking about you is that's a
Yeah, and it's a
good.
unique way. Instead of having it laid out for us and spoon fed, I felt like that was a really strong way to start the series,
Yeah.
to show this dynamic between all the older women
Hmm.
and all the mothers and parents, so to speak. Something about the mothers also that I don't know if they should be in a pro column, but I really think was great was that they weren't stupidly aged up. Older mothers are displayed in mainstream cinema. They're always like
Oh yeah.
super old,
Yeah, like
whereas these were like,
reasoning.
yeah, and these were like very fit, very well to do looking women who
Mm-hmm.
had children in their early, sorry, in their late 20s, I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm.
and looked 40 themselves, which is more realistic. Like, look at your
Yeah.
parents, they are not raisins.
Like, okay, two things I liked was I felt the interactions between characters felt very natural, as opposed to, like, this is a show and we are going to talk at each other. Like, it was very, like, I don't know how to explain it, but you know how slice of life can go either way. And this
Mm,
felt actual slice of life. And, like, they had the, not exactly, but you know how the Reply series has this very natural ease of conversation and
communication, yeah.
interaction. That, and the second thing I had is that they're alluding to, like, work burnout for Sokru. And I think that's a good topic to address, especially in, like, a high demanding society.
That's an important thing to talk about. It's become more and more common these days.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, something that I do feel like they're going to come back to. I think this is just a suspicion based on the first episode that Jung Hae-in's father has died, because he is not shown in the series at all, not referenced in the series at all. And
Um,
his entire thing about wanting to create a memorial park and it being such a intrinsic thing, I feel like is alluding to that.
okay,
I
this
could
is
be
not a
wrong.
spoiler or anything, but I just want to say, with my experience watching K dramas, do you think
One
there's
parent
a,
does have to be dead.
no, not the parent being dead? Like, do you think he might have,
What? Sorry, what? No, I didn't
like, the
understand.
main character will have, like, a deadly disease, which is giving angst? Could be,
Oh,
could.
could be, but given that this is slice of life, I don't think so. I think the angst is just that they're like going to move from friends to lovers.
I don't know. K dramas are extreme.
That is true. That is true. But like, maybe the angst is that he has like whatever abandonment issues because his dad died, and now he's like, oh, I don't
Mm.
know how to love anyone because everyone I love leaves, and because even in the very short interaction that we got with him and his mother, also it felt like a slightly strained relationship where she
Hmm.
was giving boy mom, because Jung So
That's
Min's
so
mother is like,
true.
oh, remember to eat the beans, and the mother is just like, she's just offering beans to your son, like calm down. But yeah, it felt, maybe like this is just conjecture, that is they've said nothing to this effect. It, to me, that just felt like it could be a reality. Something else
Hmm.
that I loved was, this is supposed to be a comedy show, and like,
What? Really?
it's, yeah, this is their, both of them, like Jung Hae In and Jung So Min's comedy debut apparently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That it was not giving
It
comedy.
was not. Exactly. But there was this one scene that genuinely made me laugh out loud, which is when the paramedic friend is trying to like go back from the drunk man, and this guy goes, I had to intervene because I thought it was dangerous, and she's like, because I'm a woman, and he goes, no, because I'm a red belt in taekwondo. Was too funny because I didn't expect that answer. And he was such a dorky looking guy, and then he tripped on his own feet.
No, I think it's time for our favorite part.
Yeah, let's get into the cons.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
start.
first of all, this is the most boring premise of all time. Okay, they went abroad, they're coming back home. Okay, how many K dramas like Hometown Cha Cha Cha? There's literally three other shows where you come back to your hometown and fall in love with your childhood lover, and probably they saved you. Like, okay, can we have something new? Like this, it's so played out that at this point I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, whatever like glimpses of the childhood we got as well, were her being the savior for him getting bullied and all of that as well, where it's just like, yeah,
Nah, like move
mm.
on, grow up, do something, find new people, you know.
Yeah, find new people. I
Yeah.
always 100% side eye people. And like, I'm sure some of you listening and watching this may fall in this category. I am willing to offend you. But people who like date somebody in high school and continue dating them as adults, I always side eye them, being like, have you not grown as a person?
I mean, giving them the benefit of doubt, maybe they grew together, you know.
I have heard this before, but having interacted with such people, they haven't. But yeah, no, this is such a boring storyline. Like, what are you doing? A big con for me was that it felt like writers kept changing throughout the like episode, because we had some very strong
Yeah.
scenes of conversation, then we would
Hmm.
have these absurd scenes, like the one where she kept reading out food signs on the road, and her friend was like, why are you reading the fruit signs? And she's like, I don't know, they are catching my eye, or maybe I am hungry. What? Somebody got paid to write those dialogues?
I felt this way about it, but maybe I couldn't put it in the exact words, but it was more like it felt like the pacing was like very it was fast, slow, fast, weird, like and those weird gaps of things just going on, and you're like, where are we going? But I did like that they didn't try to like do too much. I think they did the right amount, and that was like a good thing. I guess we're coming to a pro. But while it was it wasn't 100% disconnected. It wasn't like an information overload. It was just like not
Ha.
as seamlessly sewn together, I guess.
No, that I agree with. You're right. They didn't do too much, but they like there was certain scenes that stretched on for too long. Like
Mhm.
it would have been a shorter, crisper show. Like I don't need you to give me more information. You just don't need
Yeah.
to keep stretching. Like the whole thing where she was beating them with the leak when she said, "Oh, I've ended my engagement." That scene went on for so long. Or even the thing where they met everybody in the street and she's hiding in the cardboard box. Similarly, that scene went on for so long, and like
Yeah.
maybe it felt that became a little too real. Like,
And that was like not funny.
Yeah, none of it was like the leak hitting thing. It was funny for the first 2 seconds, and then because it stretched on so long,
Mm.
it stopped being funny. You know what? Now that I've said it, I think maybe the other guy who was helping the father, Jung So Min's father. You know, there was this other guy because Jung So Min's father has a whatever attack and like collapses on the road, and there's a man who comes to help him. Maybe that's Jung Hae-in's father, and we just never are introduced. There's no introduction. They just show this guy walking down the street who's like, "I will help you," and they never explain who he is. Maybe he's
Mm.
Jung Hae-in's father, and maybe I was wrong about the death and everything.
Maybe we need to watch more of it to find out.
Alluding to our answer, future. Another con, like I feel like it was really stupid. The whole guy, I'm assuming he's a reporter, or maybe he just journals a lot because his notebook was called whatever daily. I don't know. But the whole bit where he's like, "Oh, can I know your name?" to the paramedic friend. If you hadn't approached her and made her uncomfortable, you could have just read her vest because her name was embroidered there.
But he
He
wanted to
literally
talk to
puts her
her.
hand and hides it from you to be like, "Please don't approach me."
He wanted to make the connection.
I guess. I guess. Um, but yeah, no, I felt like a lot of the scenes were just too dragged out. Like, and we barely got to see things like I felt like the brothers, like Jung So-min's brother, was a very funny. I think he's just going to be a comic side role, but that comic
Yeah.
side role needed to be shown a little bit more. Like, I feel like I just got this 2 seconds of him trying to, cheat on his diet, and then later on calling the friend.
Yeah.
Oh, oh my God, the conest of all cons. And again, I know this may be a personal issue only. And one day when I become president, I will make this like, I will outlaw this.
Okay.
But why do all rich dudes in Korea, like, how else are you meant to show richness if they wear a black shirt with a black blazer? Oh my God. At least, like, this was something that I did appreciate, that the Jung Hain's character was written as a normal human being and not somebody who just sits like this and is just, oh, I don't care. Oh, I have no feelings. Like, at least he was interactive and all of that. But like, I hate that fit so much. You can show
Mm,
wealth in other ways. Um,
that's valid. But I
but yeah.
think they're also just sticking to the norms, which is, I think, one of my big cons with this show. It's like it's not doing anything extraordinary. It's very
Mm.
palatable, but like in a basic way.
Yeah, it feels like a basic bitch thing.
Mm.
But okay, this is not a con, this is not a pro, but the one scene where they show him as a child slamming into the barbed wire was such. I don't know, did you grow up with this fear of like accidentally touching the barbed wire? Because I definitely did.
Oh my God. So basically, I was snowboarding this winter, right?
Mm.
And we were doing it on like a small hill on the side where like we didn't like interact with other people. And they had a wire on the side to demarcate the slopes, and the road was on the side. And
Okay.
this one person in our group, he couldn't stop. So it wasn't barbed wire, but it was still like wire. And he like
Yeah.
rammed. He slowed down by the time he hit it. So it was like it was on a flat surface, but he still didn't have like the right. He didn't have any grip basically. So he like went into the wire, and the wire was held by two poles, and the poles fell, and he also fell.
Oh my God,
And
that's so
it was like, oh
sad.
my God, this is
You're,
exactly what I fear.
yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I think growing up in military camps, like barbed wire is everywhere.
That's true.
And like I used to live with the fear that one day accidentally I'm going to slam myself into the barbed wire, which is
Mm,
exactly what happens to Jung Hain's like childhood, in his childhood. Is that the shameful past? Who knows?
could be.
Yeah, I'm really curious why she ended her engagement. Like, I understand work burnout, and like wanting to quit and come back. I feel like that personally is very relatable, but I don't understand. I'm not don't understand, but I'm just very curious.
I have an
Um,
episode 2 spoiler if you want to know.
okay, yeah, tell me.
I mean, I just read this on Reddit, but they imply that she might have cheated.
Oh, but they implied that in the first episode also, and then like she's like, oh, the mother asks, did you cheat on him? And she doesn't answer.
Oh,
So they're all
yeah.
like, yeah. And then Jung Hae later on is like, I don't think you cheated on him. And she's like, why do you not believe?
But
Because
we know
he's the
she
pure.
wouldn't have cheated on him because she's the virtuous K-drama
Yeah, yeah.
heroine. Yeah.
औरतें ऐसे काम नहीं करते.
अच्छी औरतें.
अच्छी
Good
औरतें.
girls don't cheat.
Yeah, and like that's exactly what her mother says as well, where she's like, "Oh, I've never cheated, and I was married to such a pathetic husband." Well, the
Mm.
husband's just like lying down on the ground there. Most important question of this entire episode: is it a K drama or is it a K flop?
Okay, I have mixed feelings.
Hmm.
I wouldn't watch it, but I think it's a K-drama.
Okay. Okay. Why
Because
wouldn't you watch it?
I wouldn't watch it because I don't care about rom-coms. I need like something going on. Like it just cannot be a romance. There has to be something more to it. And this is not a gripping enough concept for me to continue watching. But I think the acting was really good. I think there's a vision and I see it and I see where hopefully where it's going. So I it's not bad. I didn't mind it. It's just not something I personally enjoy.
I also have mixed feelings,
Okay.
but for a little different way understanding. If you have watched any of our K drama and K flops in the past, you will know that I am not a fan of the romance storyline, usually because they're boring, and this is also boring. However, this is one of those very rare cases where the male character is not the reason why it's boring. Usually, they write men
Oh,
horribly.
yes. They're stoic.
They're stoic, they're boring, they're like, they have to be brought out from the shell. And I'm sorry, I don't have the time and patience for that in my life. And because this time it's somebody who's not boring, I'm a
Mm.
little invested.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, I it's definitely a K drama. There are of course flaws which we have talked about, but I kind of do want to watch it. I'm not like, I need to know and this is the best show ever, but
Mhm.
until like it gets too draggy, yeah, I really want to watch. I do want to watch the second episode.
You know, that is true because uh, Something in the Rain was one of the first K-drama, like one of the initial K-dramas that I did watch.
Hmm.
And it did have Jung Hae in it and all of that. And he wasn't the stoic K-drama lead. So for me, I actually got to know about this trope a little later into my journey of watching K-dramas, which is
Of the
interesting.
boring man, boring
Yeah,
rich man.
like oh my god, expressions who we don't know her.
Yeah, just stop being grumpy. And like honestly, a lot of times it's now it feels like it's transitioned from grumpy and stoic to rude. And
Hmm.
that's just very hard for me to watch because at no
I
point
get
am I
the
rooting
rude
for the rude
trope.
man.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I definitely do want to watch more and see where it goes. It feels honestly just like easy viewing. It feels like I don't have to think too much. And sometimes you just want that, like, but like a chick litty book, like a soft chick.
Yeah, like an easy watch.
Yeah, just like chill.
Hmm.
Okay, I think that's all we have on our K drama or K flop. Would you watch Love Next Door? Are you watching it? Let us know in the comments below. Do you agree with our pros and our cons? Is it time for this like stoic rude man trope to stop being forced on us? We will be back in exactly 2 weeks. I say that with so much confidence. This month of August has not adhered to that at all. So maybe we'll be back in 2 weeks. Who knows? Till then,
It's
I
a
was Tara.
mystery. I
It's
was
a mystery.
Sophia.
Bye.